Revolution, and I'm Dr. Nelum. I'm a GP.
And I'm Ronit, I'm a happiness coach, and today we are gathering here to say Happy
International Women's Day!
Yes.
So we're celebrating all things women, and actually, Ronit, I think finally women are getting the spotlight and attention that they need.
Exactly.
So many things from a medical point of view. Just to give you a few examples, I went to Low Carb USA in January, and out of the 3 days that we had talks, an entire day was dedicated to women's health. And
about time.
That is absolutely 50% of the population, right? And so it was wonderful because it was all female speakers, and it was all about women and women's issues, and I felt it was amazing. And also just in Australia, in terms of Medicare benefits and things like that, and PBS, which is the PBS is what subsidizes our medication. So for after many years, I don't know, I've been working in Australia now for 15 years, and this is the first time that new contraceptives have been added to the PBS. So what that means is that people don't have to pay a massive out-of-pocket expense for certain contraceptive options. And the same for the intrauterine contraceptive, like the coils, the Mirena and the Kylena. The rebate for them has increased by $100, and truly, that is unheard of.
Wow!
So it's massive.
And I think the massive bit is that they put women in a spotlight where you don't have to be wealthy to take care of your...
Exactly. I mean, all women everywhere should have the right to the services and the whatever we have available currently on the market, for instance, that people should be able to access them.
Exactly.
And I think the biggest thing I think that I want to talk about really is the spotlight on menopausal hormonal therapy. Now, you and I, Ronit, grew up in an era where menopause hormonal therapy was really, was a little bit scary.
Yeah, it was. I remember that when the second they start talking about it, it's like, oh, if you use it, you'll have cancer.
Yes.
And you'll have all those things. And basically, a lot of women went through a lot of problems.
And 20 to 30 years, in most of my medical career, this was always there in the back of my mind, is this going to cause an issue for my patient? And there would have been numerous women who weren't offered this option because there was so much fear around it.
Exactly. It's almost like, I remember that I went a while ago, I met this doctor who was specializing in aging.
Right.
And he was promoting a specific kind of hormonal therapy. But he said to me that all the problems that women have as a result of a drop in hormones are actually worse than the fear of having cancer.
Oh, absolutely.
He said he claimed that the advertisement about causing cancer is actually not true.
It isn't. And now, so there's so much. So firstly, shall we just briefly mention what menopause is?
Sure.
Yeah. So menopause is when the ovaries that all women have, which produce eggs that are able to be fertilized, and if they are fertilized, can form into a baby. Yes. So menopause is when the ovaries stop producing these eggs. Sorry, that's wrong. The ovaries stop releasing the eggs, because we are actually born with all the eggs
that we have. From the second we're born, we have all the eggs.
So the ovaries in menopause stop releasing these eggs, and to have the definition of menopause is 1 year after your last menstrual period.
What he said to me back then, I mean, and I told you that he was an aging doctor.
Yes.
Like he was specializing in aging. And he basically said to me, look, think about the past, that we're supposed to bring children to the world. And the second that we stop bringing children to the world, this is when we're fertile, when we're, everything is
working well.
And then when it stops, then this is when we stop the
aging
process. And he said to me, like, think about it. We were supposed to bring kids to the world from the second we have a period.
Yes.
Originally in nature, from the second that we have a period. And then when it stops, we're supposed to not bring children anymore. But he said that the problem that happens is that the aging goes really, really fast.
After that.
Yes. And we want to stop it.
Yes.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, so the difference, firstly, the studies, so it's a complicated issue, but the studies that reported these risks, when you look at them more in detail, the women that were studied, the average age of the women that were studied was 63. And that's not the age of the women who are on menopause hormonal therapy. I mean, and also the products that were used were different. So this is why now we can say safely that women, between that 40 to 70 or for as long as you want to, can safely go on a hormone replacement therapy as long as there aren't any contraindications. There are some. Yeah. And because the actual ingredients in the menopause hormone therapy is also, it's very similar to the body's own hormones, and the recommendation, Ronit, is that before the age of 60, if you actually start this menopause hormone therapy, that there are benefits to your cardiovascular system, so for heart disease.
Yeah, exactly what he said.
Yes. Bone kind of reduce osteoporosis risk,
exactly,
and cognitive function,
exactly. I mean, he even said something about wrinkles.
It's
the collagen production.
Because that's what keeps us.
Exactly.
And also libido. So that's another thing that women tend to. So
and you can have a great libido afterwards. You don't have to sacrifice and say, oh, okay, I'm aging.
Yes,
it's a good way of, and it's wonderful that women are
have got this option now,
exactly,
and not to fear. So I think that it's definitely something that you should, maybe if this is you, if you're worried about, if you're struggling with menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and brain fog and poor sleep and just a lot of anxiety around this time, all of this, it's worth maybe going and having a chat with your GP,
because now your doctors are not going to say to you, if you want to take it, you need to take into consideration that you may have cancer, because that
has been debunked.
Yes, which is a really good thing, because some women they will highly benefit from improved
symptom control and mental health and sleep and
exactly.
But
yeah, I know. Well, there was always a but here. The but here, that it doesn't mean that that's it.
That it is the only panacea to everything in life. No,
it's not. And because you need to take, if you want the symptoms to be better anyway, if you take care of your sleep, if you take care of your mindset, if you take care of your eating habits, then you will be better.
So
anyway,
absolutely.
So, and the pill is not going to make all this go away. It's just going to make it easier to manage it. And I know that, I mean, I've heard, I have a lot of girlfriend and they talk about menopause a lot. Thank God I don't have any symptoms of those things, and I do think, I really do believe, because that the doctor that I went to see him, he said to me that the things that you're doing around it, with eating well and meditation and all those things, they will make a huge difference.
Well, they have to, because a tablet is never going to be the answer for health. It will help, but it is not going to be the only thing. So
exactly,
the lifestyle and all the things that we
so
talk
if you do
about.
think that you're going to go and take some hormones and then tomorrow everything is fine, then think twice, because you might be very, very disappointed. People that are taking care of their health, and people that are eating the right things and so on, some of them is a transition. It's a period that, I mean, you're not supposed to have those menopausal problems for the rest of your life.
Yes.
But
some women unfortunately do.
Yeah,
so it is
exactly.
difficult. But I think that's so anyway, so we just wanted to say I think it's high time that this was in the spotlight, and women should be in the spotlight and get the attention that they deserve.
And I think what we think is that you need to put yourself in the spotlight. If you're a woman and you're watching us now, then we want to tell you that you are important, that you need to put yourself in the spotlight and take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And this is like, I know every International Women's Day, it's like it takes me back into self-care, and ask yourself, okay, Medicare put you in the spotlight now. What did you do to take care of yourself for International Women's Day? It's like, how do you celebrate you? How do you take care of you? How do you do things for you? And I think it's a big topic, because women in our society, probably just because of the way our society is
and our evolutionary
exactly,
role as well.
Exactly. Then women are service providers, because they are bringing the kids to the world, because they need to stay with the kids, which I totally understand why. It's like, if you have to breastfeed, it's better that you breastfeed than your husband stays home, and because he cannot breastfeed. So if you are breastfeeding, and it's really, really important, and the first years of children's life are very important, so someone needs to be with them. So I think it's wonderful. And I mean, when I think about myself, I always say, no, I didn't do it because I had to.
Yes.
I wanted to be home.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be a provider. I wanted to be there for the kids. And women sometimes go too far.
Yes, it's one or the other, isn't it? It doesn't, I mean, it is hard to be everything, but I think you can kind of compromise.
Many years ago, I wrote an article that I called it like, Superman like Superwoman. And the problem that we have is that we think that we're supposed to be
Superwomen.
Yeah. We think we're supposed to be. You're supposed to take care of a house and make sure it's clean, and make sure that the kids are okay,
and cook these amazing,
exactly,
and look beautiful all the time.
All the time, you have to be spotless, and every piece of your hair needs to be in the right place, and you need to be good at work, and you need to, and it's wrong.
It's a false expectation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wrong. And again, I mean, you've heard us speaking lately. We think it's a social constraints. It's almost like women, that they were home all the time. It was almost like, okay, the freedom, women can go out and do this thing. And then instead of realizing that you have only 24 hours every day, you have to choose your battles. You cannot be all those things, because the person who pays for it is you, is your health, your mindset, your sleep, your cognitive abilities, your ability to stay alert and awake and focus on all those things. Something's gotta give. So International Women's Day, I think the declaration needs to be, I am perfect just the way I am, even if not everything happens.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Yes.
And it's okay to say, take the time. And what I want to say about taking the time, I think that women, I think men as well, by the way, they're going through an identity crisis from time to time. So you go from a teenagers to becoming an adult. It's like, okay, what does it mean to be an adult, or how do I need to behave as an adult? And then when you getting married or in a relationship, you say, okay, how does a partnership needs to look like? Now I'm a wife, and so on, and then I'm a mom. So all those sections go through an identity crisis. An identity crisis means, I actually think, I don't call it a crisis, I actually think it's an evolution, a happy, wonderful evolution. It's when you understand that you no longer
are constrained by.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's almost like you need to redefine who you are now that the kids don't need you as much. You know, women that are going through menopause, for example, are usually women that are not. They don't have little kids at home that they say, okay, I have to wake up at night and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Gal and I, my husband and I, we had this crisis of, okay, I no longer need to cook for everyone, or you know, and I think this is a time where you do need to redefine yourself. Now, a suggestion for everyone: do not redefine yourself by hating the previous you. Okay, don't say, oh, I've compromised a lot. No, I didn't compromise. I chose that back then. But now that I am in a different stage of my life, I choose to do something different. So doesn't mean that you don't need to do things for other people, doesn't mean you don't need to do things for your children or for your partner or all those things, but it also means that you are part of that thing. You need to take care, you need to provide for you. So put yourself in the center, put yourself in the spotlight. Exactly. And say to yourself, what is that thing that I want to be? What is that thing that I want to have in my life? What are the things that I want to develop within me? Because this is really, really important. You need to decide who you are as a different person that doesn't need to take care of all those things, and go for it.
Yes. So have a wonderful International Women's Day and a wonderful year. And this is from Whole Food Revolution. Bye.
Bye bye.